Hey, how's it guys? Welcome back to my channel. For this subpart, we are giving conspiracy authors the benefit of the doubt. Before we interpret any observation, we need to establish exactly what was said, what the words mean in that context, and what was actually observed and then concluded. Flat, level, and horizontal are not synonyms. These words are often used as though they mean the same thing, but they don't. Flat can describe the character or geometry of a surface. Level can describe a reference relationship, including a surface or direction determined by gravity. Horizontal describes orientation level to a local vertical. So, although these words can overlap in ordinary conversation, they are not interchangeable in every context. For example, I can place a spirit level on a table. If the bubble is centered, I've established something about the local orientation of that surface. I have not, from that measurement alone, established the geometry of the entire Earth. So, before we interpret any observation, we first need to know what the words being used actually mean. And meaning doesn't exist independently of context. Technical terminology can be taken outside its context. A technical term does not necessarily mean exactly what the individual words appear to mean in ordinary conversation. Take sea level, for example. In everyday language, sea level sounds simple, the level of the sea. But in scientific measurement, mean sea level is used as a reference for measuring elevation. Where I live, for example, my elevation is given as approximately 1,300 meters above sea level. What have I actually been told? I've been given an elevation relative to a defined reference. It doesn't mean that there is a perfectly flat geometrical sheet of ocean extending underneath me. Here, those words are being used in a particular way. So the context is part of the meaning. Take a technical term out of its context, and the words can appear to make a much broader statement than the measurement actually makes. Once the terminology and its context are clear, we can move on to the observation itself. A scientific result can be extended beyond what it actually establishes. Let's take my four examples here. These were made from the same observing location on 4 consecutive days. And each observation began at precisely 5:38 and 0 seconds. 29 June, 30 June, 1 July, and 2 July. Watch the moon's position. It changes from one observation to the next. I can record that change, measure it, and I can compare it with further observations. That is the result of the observation. What explains that result is a separate question. The elevation is a deduction from the observation. It isn't the observation itself. So we keep them separate. Here is what was observed. Here is what we deduce from it. But there's another step we need to keep separate. What happens when a scientific description becomes more precise? A scientific refinement can be interpreted as a contradiction. It isn't that it was wrong, then less wrong, and then right? No. What happened was its precision increased. We commonly describe the Earth as a sphere. That is a useful description. But when we make the description more precise, we can describe the Earth as an oblate spheroid, slightly wider around the equator and slightly squashed at the poles. And when we need an even more detailed reference surface, geodesy uses the geoid. So, we are describing the same Earth at different levels of precision. The more useful questions are, what became more precise and what was actually being claimed before. And that's all we are doing here. We are not changing the observation. We are not changing the terminology. We are simply keeping the meaning, the context, the result, and the deduction in their proper places. Give the claim the benefit of the doubt, then follow it carefully and see where it actually takes us. I hope you enjoyed this part, and I hope that you come back for the next part, where we carry on dissecting Flat Earthers' claims step by step, so that I can eventually defend my own observations by their mantra, do your own research. Thank you so much for watching. Please, guys, stay safe, and I will catch you in the next video. Bye.